We are outside the student life and wellness center.
What's your name? My nephew, his name's McKay. Yeah.
Did you guys see what happened?
How are you?
Did you see what happened, Phil?
No.
You were there too.
Oh yeah, it's interesting because I was there. I was a witness to everything that happened. I was talking to Charlie just before he took the stage, and I was in very, very close proximity.
Did you guys see what happened?
How are you?
Did you see what happened, Phil?
No.
No.
Charlie was a friend of mine.
No.
We know one thing: Charlie Kirk died.
I was pretty.
I talked to right.
Yeah, it's ironic, Alex. This happens to be the 12th year anniversary of my indictment.
That's Phil Lyman, the former gubernatorial candidate from Utah, who, as you can see, starts smiling whenever talking about Charlie Kirk's assassination for some reason. Now, keep in mind, this was minutes after it happened. Now, he called that video fake, but politicians, including people like Gavin Newsom, well, they've been calling my posts fake for a while now, even though everything I say is backed up and ends up being true. Now, Phil has been calling out Candace for a while now, since she began reporting on his family members. But I want to show you something else. Just a day ago, I was going through all of the interviews that happened after the shooting, and I noticed some people who looked more like actors than they did UVU students. I even showed you this guy who was not acting normally at all. But the more I looked into his performance, the more it felt like Phil was there to keep an eye on what he was saying. Also, just notice how people in the Turning Point USA shirts stop the guy from speaking to people and they start arguing about something.
1, 2, 3.
I saw Charlie Kirk get shot.
1, 2, 3.
I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. He collapsed in his seat. He fell over to the side. He was carried off. He had blood on his arms. He had blood on his shirt. He was dragged off and carried out of the venue. There was a gunshot that rang out.
You okay?
No, I'm not okay. I saw someone get shot today. Yeah. So. I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. He collapsed in his seat. He fell over to the side. He was carried off. He had blood on his arms. He had blood on his shirt. He was dragged off and carried out of the venue. There was a gunshot that rang out.
You okay?
I'm not okay. I saw someone get shot today.
Yeah, dumb question.
Did you guys see what happened?
Yes, I saw him. What's it called? Are you recording this?
Yes, you're live right now. Well, we're recording. I don't know if we're live because of the cell service.
So,
hang on.
I was standing in probably the third. Okay. I was standing from probably the third row in the bottom. I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off.
Deb, we're not doing it. I'm sorry.
Get off me! Get off me!
Emotions are running high right now. Everybody's in shock, including myself. Where's your mama? Oh.
Also, what's interesting is that when I first started looking into this guy in the red shirt, Phil actually replied to me on X and sent me this video, which we now know looks completely rehearsed. And Phil knew well enough that this guy was not giving a genuine reaction to what he witnessed, but he still sent me that video for some reason. Now, you can say that I might be looking too deeply into all of this, but maybe, or maybe you haven't seen this guy who was wearing a special access badge and standing behind Phil while wearing a Phil Lyman campaign shirt. Let's also not forget that he's wearing gloves for some reason and carrying a backpack as well as a flag. We all know by now that George Zinn was some kind of deep state decoy. Well, let me show you something insane about him. If you take a look at Phil Lyman's website and scroll down to the testimonials, you will see a sparkling review from none other than George Zinn.
This is at lymanforutah.com, and it says, rare to find a more caring man with uncompromising goals to make Utah great for generations than Phil Lyman. Not a politician who can be pampered, Phil has a knowledge of urban and rural Utah from every corner and community. Utah is in desperate need of a true leadership and representation, and Phil has the passion and values to be a great governor. He needs our support. Mr. 1 in 2 billion. George Zinn himself, the man, the myth, the legend that was magically calling in planes flying into buildings on 9/11. He was also the man phoning in fake bomb threats at the Boston Marathon bombing. And he was the man, Mr. No Pants himself, who goes up and goes, shoot me, I'm the man, carrying out the perfect distraction for the assassin to just escape into the abyss.
And as if that wasn't enough already, you all remember that famous TMZ footage? Well, that apparently came from a home that's owned by a member of Phil's family. Then, on the day of the shooting, we were having a hard time figuring out what the hell was going on. For hours, people continued to believe that George Zinn was the shooter, but then Phil made this very viral post to tell us that the cops were looking for the real shooter close to his home.
There are about 6 armed men in the backyard of a home right next to UVU campus. Apparently they are looking for another suspect. Maybe another suspect has not been apprehended, and they're actively searching. I'm at a home that is probably about right next to UVU. So
yes, they're still there. They're huddled together.
Are you talking to Bruce?
With,
they're looking for someone.
We're all at the windows.
Okay. Do we need to let them know that well, there's more of them right there.
I don't know.
Okay.
This is Phil's staff.
Oh my goodness, he's coming right here. Okay.
Once again, Phil is actively setting a narrative for this incident. And let's not forget, Phil was busy running around almost every point of UVU campus before heading back over to that house. He was a very busy boy that day. And then we had his nephew, cousin, or whatever you want to call it. Some relative of his was retracing the shooter's footsteps and reminding us once again where the gun was dropped, how the shooter looked fidgety, and how this had to be planned.
Because I got here like about 10 minutes before he walked by. And then I was talking to Mom and we were doing all this stuff. And then I look out the thing and there was somebody like right here. But they were just like kind of doing this kind of stuff, not really
Pacing back and
So I
forth.
sent it to the FBI and said, if there's an accomplice, you know, because the camera from here to here took way too long. If you time how long it took him to get from that little part over to here was way longer than it should have been. So I wondered if the girl had given him stuff, like if there is an accomplice. Sorry, you're filming.
And it said right here, that picture from Sam's across the street, he was right here.
Yep.
And so you say the gun was dumped up here?
Oh, I'll show you where.
And I saw the officers right there, and then on the basketball
So
hoop.
some of these footprints would be his for sure. So that's the roof he shot from?
At the Losi Center. That's the career center of the university where I did my interviews for internships.
It's the Losi Center where he shot from.
Yep, and this is Brig Steele's old house. And so,
He
right,
would have dropped down somewhere.
and there's Grandma's old house. And so where do you say the gun was dropped?
Well, DeRay's house is right here. And there's one of the places up here that doesn't have the fence. So he probably just ran up in there and dropped it, but it's like, this isn't that far. I was thinking he went a long ways up in there, but
Yeah.
it's...
No.
And it could be actually over here.
And that's the tunnel where they released the photos of him entering.
Now, of course, this backfired, and Candace started asking about the guy in the hat who matched the shooter's official photos better than Tyler Robinson.
Oddly, when I say oddly, I mean this has never happened in the history of all of our investigations. No one emailed us to say that they knew either of those two individuals, neither the blonde that's with Shaner or the person that is wearing the blue hat that is with Shaner. I said, that's weird. Nobody in the whole wide Candace Owens universe of investigation. It was making me believe maybe those two individuals are like, I don't know, from overseas. Like maybe they're not even American. And it turns out, yeah, I wanted to get to the bottom, as I said earlier, of who that second person was in the photo with his nephew, cousin, whatever you want to call him. And we got just one hit. So this is the website. It's a Gothic underground of all things in Provo, the website Buzzard and Bees. And they're speaking about a Gothic prom. That is where that person's face comes up, except he's wearing makeup to make him, well, look a little more Gothic. Take a look at this. I'm going to show you the side by side of this individual. And I am certain, can't say 100%, okay, because we need to find this person's name. But this is a match, okay? The ears, the chin, just everything about this individual is a match. But he is as of yet identified as unidentified, as a Gothic person. And he is also as of yet unidentified as the close friend of Shaner Broderick, who cannot be found anywhere else, or people are not familiar with this person. So I'm thinking maybe he also came from overseas.
So yeah, as far as I can see, I totally understand why people are asking Phil questions like this one. He is too involved in all of this, and it just doesn't make sense. And you want to know what else doesn't make sense? How Bill Gates is pushing us towards a digital ID, even though the whole country hates this plan. I'm sure you know they already implemented it in the UK, even though the government received 2.8 million signatures on a petition opposing digital ID.
I'm tired. I am sick and tired of fighting these bastards. I don't want to fight. I wasn't put on this planet to fight, but fight we must. Because otherwise they're going to bring in a digital ID, and once that's in a digital currency, we will have total surveillance over everything that we do and we say. It's pretty bad now in the UK for those of you that are watching from another country. There are over 4,000 people in prison at this moment in time for social media posts. Not even their posts, comments that people have made on their posts. This is the time to stand up. This is the hill that we must all die on. This is our freedom that we have to fight for our children and our grandchildren and all of those that come behind us. Stand up, everybody. No digital ID. Not on my watch.
And here's the UK Prime Minister openly telling you how it's going to be connected to your finances.
For it. Here in India, I think it's 1 billion people have digital ID. It's been taken up on a voluntary basis in huge numbers. Not least because it means that you can access your own money, make payments so much more easily than is available with others. So I think now we need to go out and make that case of the huge benefits that this will bring. There needs to be a national debate about it. And I think that the more people see the benefits that come with this, the more, as has happened in other countries, people say that will make my life easier. and therefore I want to get on with it.
Now, I'm sure long-term viewers of this channel will know that Bill Gates has been a huge supporter of the digital ID, and now he has managed to successfully infiltrate our government as well.
Innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing, and the president and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases. He mentioned polio, which is one that we're close. We don't need new science on that one. For some like HIV and sickle cell, we do need new science, but the U.S. Has the seeds that in the same way that Warp Speed took those seeds and put them together, I think something fantastic can be done. AI for our foundation is that we want a doctor for everyone in Africa through AI.
As far as I remember, the country voted against Epstein's buddy here. However, now I think it's not long before he starts paying off politicians in Congress to introduce the same digital IDs in the US as well. Now, I want to end this video by sharing another clip.
With Letitia James being targeted, there's many others. Have you felt that you could be targeted, worried about being indicted?
Sure, of course. Yes, of course.
Look, if you've seen any of my previous videos on the North Carolina land grab, you will know that Kamala and Joe worked together to basically create an insatiable demand for lithium in this country. They allowed those companies to swallow up generational land in North Carolina. And don't even get me started on her actions as border czar, because I have not forgotten about all those missing kids.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes? They are operating heavy machinery. They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for. They are not giving meals. Almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator ORR.
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with, and your answer is we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century. A century. It's a disgrace.
So yeah, as far as I know, there are some very good reasons for Trump's DOJ to investigate her, but politicians get away with pretty much everything in this country, so I'm not sure she will ever answer for her actions.